I saw now we have another stimulus plan. $50 billion for roads. The media is finally catching up and reporting the original stimulus package is $862 billion. Then there was a $50 billion stimulus package after that. And then don't forget the $26 billion for teachers and the proposed $30 billion, which now is $50 billion for roads. I have to do this. So you understand that this concept of infrastructure, as if to assume we've never spent money on it. I mean, Eisenhower had his federal interstate highway system, and that was the last time we paved a road in this country. As a matter of fact, billions of dollars in spending for roads were still in effect when they passed the first stimulus package. Do you remember that it was Jim Bunning that they went after? Because he was one of the senators standing in the way of one of these various secondary and tertiary highway spending stimulus packages. And Secretary Ray LaHood came out, thanks to Jim Bunning, we're going to lose thousands and thousands of transportation workers. Do you remember this? I found this. Went through my folders again. All the way back to 1996. I have to share this with you. Do you remember in 1996 the National Economic Crossroads Transportation Efficiency Act, better known as NEXT? Does anybody remember that? I know you haven't forgotten who Bill Clinton was. His wife is the Secretary of State. His daughter just got married. It's not like he's gone away. He's been very active in Haiti. You remember, he was the president before George W. Bush. Headline, CNN, March 12th, 1997. Clinton proposes highway mass transit overhaul, dubbed the National Economic Crossroads Transportation Efficiency Act, or NEXT. Now, I want you to follow the timeline here. The 6-year, $175 billion plan would increase highway spending by 30%. Clinton hailed the bill as a necessary building block for improving roadways and creating millions of jobs for Americans. Quote, the bridge will literally be our bridge to the 21st century, Clinton said. Quote, it will create tens of millions of jobs for our people and help move people from welfare to work. You would think, I mean, that's how you create sustainable jobs. The government just paves roads. Where they're paving them to, point A, point B, what's the purpose? We don't know, but we're going to take money out of the private sector. We're going to raise taxes. We're going to spend money. We're going to put people to work. And that was 13 years ago. Where are all those jobs now? And what has become of those roads? Here's a philosophical question for you. And this is how you can learn to separate your brain. If you're not sure whether you're a liberal, a conservative, a Democrat, a Republican, a free market economist, or a government-controlled economist in your own mind, ask yourself this. Philosophically, what is the purpose of a road? Why do we have roads? Now, here are the two choices. Are A, roads connecting points as to move people and products from point A to point B, or does the road exist to give someone a job building the road? In other words, which comes first? Is the need to create jobs what begets the road, or the desire to increase commerce between two particular points on a map? Which comes first? Now, if you're a conservative, the idea of increasing commerce is the reason why the road is built and jobs are created as a secondary or tertiary effect. If the need to create jobs is the prime mover for creating the road, then you end up with bridges to nowhere. Yes, as proposed by Republican Ted Stevens. So in 1996 and in 1997, Bill Clinton proposed the NEXT Act. Now, the vote ended up taken February 12th. the vote on the $318 billion highway bill, S-1072. Passed. Now, yeah, Republicans were in charge of the House and the Senate at that point. But Clinton was the one out there. Clinton was the one out there saying, we got to create these jobs. We're going to pave roads. We're going to go right and we're going to go forward. Okay. So that was 1997. With 6 years. 6 years. So what's 6 years from 1997? Now, here we have another one. April 10th, 2005. Bush signs $286.5 billion measure for highway transit spending. President George W. Bush traveled to Caterpillar Inc. outside Chicago to sign the $286.5 billion authorization for transportation projects that he said would be an economic boon for businesses and workers. Now, don't forget in there, and I have my articles here. I might have missed one. No, here it is. Going out of order for a second. The Transportation Equity Act for the 21st Century, or T21, cost $203 billion, which contained 1,850 earmarks. So before they even started spending T21, they passed, next T, they passed T21. So it was $173 billion plus $203 billion. To provide $600 million to deploy intelligent transportation technology, cut travel time and improve safety, increase spending for the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration by 25%, increase spending on highway truck and safety by $2 billion, increase spending on drunk driving prevention, increase spending for programs to reduce traffic congestion and improve air quality. Now, keep that in mind. Intelligent transportation to cut travel time, because you're going to hear that again. So first they had Nexty at $175 billion. Then they had T21, which passed in 1998. A year later, they passed T21 at $203 billion. Now think about that. 1998, then again in 2005. Congress approved the spending, just recessing at the end of last month, ending a 2-year battle at the White House over how much the government would provide for transportation projects through 2009. House lawmakers initially sought $375 billion. The Senate wanted $318 billion, prompting Bush to threaten a veto if Congress couldn't hold this line on the spending limits that he had set. So he threatened a veto and ultimately signed $286.4 billion, which, by the way, in 2005 was set at another 6 years. So 1997, 1998, 6 years, ends when? 1998, 2004, 2005. They re-upped it again for another 6 years. Anybody care to do the math on what 6 years from 2005 is? Anybody? Anybody feel like picking up the phone and tell me what year this money was allocated up until? Let's see. Obama was inaugurated in 2009. That wouldn't be 6 years from 2005. His second year in office began in 2010. That wouldn't be 6 years from 2005. The year would be 2011. So that money, the first 6 years of which were under the Clinton administration, which bled into the Bush administration, then Congress approved another 6 years, which bleeds into the Obama administration and is still technically in effect. They laid this money out until 2011. Now, we passed the $862 billion stimulus package. There have been secondary and tertiary stimulus package proposals since then. Now they want another $50 billion solely for roads. Why? To create jobs. Oh, and look, according to the Financial Times, make the roads more efficient to cut travel time. 1-866-95-PATRIOT. Clinton said this would create jobs. Hold on, I have the Bush quote here. Bush said it would create jobs. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a boon. Quote, with new federal highway and transit spending, this is from Bloomberg, there's going to be more demand from the machines you make here, Bush told the crowd at Caterpillar's facility in Montgomery, Illinois, a town west of Chicago that is represented by House Speaker Denny Hastert. And because there's more demand for the machines you make, there's going to be more jobs created around this facility. Bush was wrong on that. Clinton was wrong on it. And Obama is wrong on it. The idea that the government creates... Oh, whoa. AP. January 11th, 2010. AP Impact. Road projects didn't help unemployment. 10 months into President Barack Obama's first economic stimulus plan, a surge in spending on roads and bridges has had no effect on local unemployment and only barely helped the beleaguered construction industry, the Associated Press has found. Spend or lot or spend nothing at all, it didn't matter, the Associated Press analysis shown. Local unemployment rates rose and fell regardless of how much stimulus money Washington poured out for transportation, raising questions about Obama's argument that more road money would address an urgent need to accelerate job growth. Obama wants a second stimulus package from Congress that relies in part on more road and bridge spending. Projects, the president said, quote, are at the heart of our effort to accelerate job growth. Let me go back in time even further. To the Associated Press, November 22nd, 2008. You ready for this headline? Obama economic plan aims for 2.5 million jobs by 2011. President-elect Barack Obama promoted an economic plan Saturday he said would create 2.5 million jobs by rebuilding roads, bridges, and modernizing schools while developing alternative energy resources and more efficient cars. How many presidents have been told by their advisors, have been prodded by the unions, have been given this nonsense by left-wing economists that government's role in this is to create demand for labor, to create demand for products, to create demand for machinery. And it's failed every time. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that we had two back-to-back presidents and a change in Congress where in a bipartisan fashion, they agreed that the nation's roads needed to be rebuilt. Where are those jobs? Where are those roads? You're telling me that for 11 straight years, and we're still in the final year, you're telling me that for the past decade plus, we have been spending on roads to the tune of billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And we need more of it. Now, why is that? It's simply false. It is simply false that the government is going to save the economy by spending on roads. I don't care if it's a Republican. I don't care if it's a Democrat. I don't care who it is. And all of the eloquence in the world versus folksy speak does not change that it doesn't work. But if you look at what Obama spent in 1 year, he outspent the entire Clinton and Bush administration on roads in 1 year. And unemployment is at 9.6%.